Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a quick little tutorial on how to make an isometric sketch from a first-person perspective. We have examples that I've given, we have some examples on PLTW site, but I haven't really walked through like the full out, how do you make an isometric sketch if you have these linking cubes. Now I've made a pretty simple object. It's four cubes on the bottom, 2 on the top in the middle, and you can see again, a pretty simple object if we look at the different views. Now, again, we're treating this like a solid object, so we're not going to be treating it like individual linking cubes, but as if it was one solid piece. So in making an isometric sketch, again, we're trying to look at it from a 3D perspective, as if we're looking down on the bottom right corner, so we can see the front, we can see the right side, and we can see the top view. All right? So I'm not going to be able to necessarily hold this in place while I draw it, but I wanted to at least show you kind of how we're viewing this as we make our isometric sketch. So one thing to note, when you're trying to determine which side's your front side, because that's the most important view, we're always looking for the side that has the longest dimensions, or basically the most detail. So in this case, again, it's going to be this side. So we're always picking that. Now there's not necessarily a hard, fast rule. You might disagree, but overall, this is going to be the side that I pick. So I'm going to set this down and see if I can start drawing it. Now I'm always going to be picking a starting point, and I'm going to mark that with a dot here, and I'm using marker to help you see it. Now again, you'll notice that we've got it 4 cubes deep. Now I'm going to be making it that every cube is basically 2 grids deep, so you can see it a little bit easier, but you could do it 1 to 1, right? Where every cube is 1 grid. But I'm going to make it 2 so you can see it better. So I have 4 cubes, so I'm going to go 8 grids deep. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now one thing I'm noticing for a lot of your guys' drawings is when you draw the isometric sketch, you're not necessarily following these grid lines. Use those grid lines, guys, for the isometric sketch. It'll be much easier. Now if we look at this front corner in regards to height, it comes up a full cube. So remember, I'm treating each cube as 2 grids. So I'm going to come up 2. I got my height, okay? Now if you notice, the height's the same on the back, so I'm going to go up 2 here. Remember, I'm just starting with my front view. Now, again, from this point here, I can come in 1 full cube. So I'm going to come in, again, 2 grids, because I'm treating everyone as 2. And it's the same thing on the back, so I can come in 1, 2. And now we're starting to see our shape a little bit. Now again, if I look at it from this perspective, I came up, I came over, now I have to come up again, another cube length, so I'm going to come up 2 grids. Same thing on the back side. And now I should just be able to connect for my front view. All right, so now we have this view, basically the depth here, and it goes back 1 cube length, so 2 grids. And again, I can come up 1 cube length, so again, 2 grids. See how I'm following these diagonal lines, and I can close this in, okay? And then now it's just a matter of adding some extra features. So if you look at this cube right here, we came back 1 full cube or 2 grids. Now we're going to go add some depth to that, so that should go back into our drawing. 1, 2 grids, and I can close this in. So now I've made this cube. Now I've got to make the height on the back. So again, I'm going up 1 cube or 2 grids, and I close that in. And then I can do the same thing for the rest of this. So you might start seeing it. Again, I'm following along here, which is this edge. And now we're going to add the depth here, which is 1 cube. And I can close that in. And we're almost finished. The last thing we see this little portion here, which goes also back 1 cube length. So when I go back 1 cube length, it hits this edge. And so that's okay. So now we can see that I've got my object drawn at isometric the same as I have here. So hopefully that helps with the isometric portion.